go. Got my notes. Yes! Asaltante Oso, that bear you all know. Out of hibernation to entertain Raider Nation. And you know that's true because it came out of my face. Hey, it's called credibility, okay? I'm not talking to anyone in our audience. I'm talking to some of these other suckers that be doing shows. I'm talking about nothing. Really fast. Come on, man. You gotta be there for Raider Nation. Check. Often imitated, never duplicated. That fool with no hair, that shouts like Ric Flair. What? Woo! Woo! The Raider Bear! Raiders! Get him, little Raider Bear. I've had that for a long time, I won't lie. Long time. Love that sucker. But if you look on, what is that? I can't think of the name of it right now. But if you look on the or eBay, you know, that's not what I was trying to think of, but eBay is the obvious one. If you just go online, go with eBay, you can find it. It's oh man, what did they call it again? A stuff something. I can't even remember the name of it. They did. That's sad. I was going to tell you how to get it, and I can't remember. What? Okay, I was trying to do something nice. Stop laughing at me. 0 to 60 like that, okay? I'm like a Ferrari with the attitude. I'm rated! All right, that's enough of that. Alexa, hush. Raider Bear Live, first comment, woo! MVP tonight goes to... Oh, it's not the grumpy one tonight. John the Lion! Leon! Always catching L's, but never taking losses. The latest contestant trying to usurp the champion and take his belt. This erstwhile challenger, John Leon, who basically is just spotting weakness in Jim. He's been slipping on his game just a little bit. He keeps taking on these responsibilities like family and, you know, his job and loved ones. You know, terrible excuses. Second place, my silver medal goes to Jim Vanderlyn, the heavyweight champion of the world. Embarrassed yet another night. No, John, you got to get him for a little while. You can't just do it a couple shows, okay? Then I'll definitely put the belt up. Third place, my bronze medal goes to Mark, that Moji making son of a gun, Vargas. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there for a Raider Bear. But the people who got me on the map over on Facebook getting their due when it got interesting tonight. First place, gold medalist numero uno, the heavyweight champion of the world. And in the past, you would hear a long name associated with that, but not right now. Destin King! Oh! How it smarts to stare back down the steps and see the former reigning, defending, heavyweight champion of the world standing there holding the silver, Josh Russell, the former heavyweight champion of the world. Wow, what a round we had. on Facebook tonight. And John Leon, you actually came in third, but you can't win 2 medals. Doesn't work that way. I did it to Jim. I'm going to do it to you. Third place, my bronze medal goes to David Pell Kleiber. DPC, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Wow, what a medal round tonight. First, John takes Jim's gold. Jim comes in second and takes it from Mark. And then Mark wins the bronze. That was intense. Just 1, 2, 3 usurped the medal for a night from John. John, come on, man. What are we doing? I'm just kidding. It's so fun teasing you about it. I got to admit, because, you've been competitive. I'm impressed. David Pell Kleiber, he's Mount Rushmore. He thinks you're adorable. You'd have to win for another year before you'd have David Pell Kleiber numbers. Okay, that guy, he was Jordan. You're LeBron. I might elevate you to Kobe, maybe. Now, consider a subscription to R8RBEAR family page. It's just $5 and you can cancel at any time, but you won't want to because you're giving to great causes all the while through this smiling face and Mama Bear, who work with St. Jude's early onset cancer. We also work with Kind, K-I-N-D, the kids that needed desks badly. And we hooked up a whole bunch of them. And then Punks for Autism, super involved. And now getting involved finally with the homeless here in Arizona. Finally, now that they've done my retinal scan and I promised them my spleen if I die, and now we're allowed to do it. Jeez. Wilts Duncan, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Corinna Trujillo, hi, love. Always there for R8RBEAR. And by the way, if you're watching from YouTube, I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm trying to build my presence there. And if you're not, and you know me, and you are on YouTube, copy my link and, go show that to your other Raider friends and tell them they should be seeing the R8RBEAR. No, you can do it after the show. I'm just kidding. You guys can stay. Armando Medrano, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. I see Lucky Pace. What's up, Luck? Troy Gill, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Anna Diaz Rincon. Hi, Anna. My first supporter ever. Oh, and one of my favorite people, Tony Carpenter Evans. No, I don't care if she didn't win a medal, okay? Mauricio Cortez. Raiders! Appreciate you, Mauricio. Woo, spit it out, Bear. John Rogers Jr., how you doing? Welcome to the show. Cullen Baldridge, I'm so ready for some football in It Is the Devil. What's up, R8RBEAR family? Digging the Lokes. Appreciate you, JP. Well, you are my fashion designer. You know what I mean? So if I'm going to get a compliment from anyone and I get it from you, okay, I'm good. Super good with that. Oh, okay, never mind, sorry. No. John, come on, that's not fair, man. I act stupid all the time. What do you think, I'm smoking all the time? By the way, I can't afford that stuff. Tim Heckok, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. The best looking man in a cowboy hat I've ever seen. It's just made to fit him. Happy Wednesday. Put some foots in other teams. Nothing like Raider Nation. Louis Hogwin, right? All day. Oh, it's Tommy. Hi, Tommy. R8RBEAR, if it isn't okay for me to pray, then don't read this comment. It's always okay for you to pray. If it would, please take off your hat, Lord Christ Jesus, Son of God, have mercy on the President Biden and heal him from COVID. Yes. And Jesus, amen. All right, Tommy, good job. I never take off my hat for people, okay? So just know I did that special for you. Appreciate you. And appreciate that prayer. That was nice. Dorothy Bell, hi, love. Welcome to the show. Victor Remy, that's my good friend. I hated leaving Victor Remy and his wife behind me in California. It is great people. Great people. They have that same, wife-husband vibe that me and Mama Bear have. You know what I mean? And so when the four of us, hung out, it was like, okay. They're good people. Doc Raider, what's up? Welcome to the show. Tell them, Dorothy, if they care, they share a R8RBEAR. All right, let's put this Devontae Adams trade talk to rest. He is not going anywhere. And is proud to be a Raider. Now, you see, because Louis Hallwin said it, that's it, guys. Okay? Just drop the topic. Louis, I got to agree with you, but if I can add to that, I would just say you're always going to get this when you have a star player. It's inevitable, guys. We'll get it next year. And if there's a point in his contract where he's completely free and he can leave to go wherever he wants, they're going to speculate that there's no way the Raiders will be able to get him to come back. And I just don't agree with that. If we start winning and he builds a thing with Aiden O'Connell, he'll probably stay. But before this, he had Aaron Rodgers. He put up a lot of numbers. He's got Hall of Fame GOAT-like numbers. But he still said, you know what, I want to go to the Raiders. And why did he do it? Because of our quarterback, Derek Carr, at the time. I mean, think about that. He was just looking for a positive connection. Derek Carr hadn't won anything. Derek Carr hadn't done anything. And the reputation of the Raiders with Carr at that point was that we wasn't going to do anything. Let me beat that in the rug. And another thing that we wasn't going to do anything about. And so, for him to come over to us on something like that makes me feel like he's really going to give the Raiders a shot to keep him as a Raider. You know what I mean? He just can't insult them. You got to let him be able to go out there and say, oh, yeah, I made big money, but I gave some of it back to the Raiders so we could still work on making the team even better. Which is all BS. They just that's just roses on that. After you leave the restroom and you left a bad one, that's PR. PR is just that you spray after the issue, so people don't notice it. It smells bad, but not that bad. It's like bad roses. He ain't going anywhere. I had to say all that other stuff to get to. He ain't going anywhere. Now, let's be realistic, though, for a second, okay? And I think we should do that, Louis. In reality, though, we do have an issue at quarterback. Now, we may all love Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. I personally really like Aiden O'Connell. But even I felt like he's a development quarterback. You need a veteran behind him in case he gets hurt or in case he's just not good. You know what I mean? Because he only really had one terrible game. You know what I mean? When he threw the 2 interceptions and fumbled twice, and it was just a calamity. Okay, and that was under Josh McDaniels and his nonsense and him trying to make changes to the play in the middle, and the kid was too raw. You know what I mean? Now you have him under AP with a new offense. So, see, I think that's huge because it's going to feel to him like they're installing that for him. You know what I mean? Because it's brand new. No more messing around and that stuff we had before. No. Here, you see what I mean? He and Gardner are on an even playing field. But I've told you since the beginning that Aiden O'Connell was going to get the ball, and he's going to get the ball. Our season will start with Aiden O'Connell. Whether it finishes that way, I don't know. You know what I mean? I can't say. I want to say for sure, yes. But the only reason I can't is because I know there are people on our staff that really like Gardner Minshew, and they do. He is a super locker room guy. Everyone likes him. Everyone likes him. So any one of the Raiders who thinks he's too silly or he shouldn't have been acting like a goof when they were taking team pictures, that's just how he is. You know what I mean? But I guarantee you, if you meet him in person, it won't bother you. Because he is a professional. He's smart. He's kind. All those other good things. But he's also, goofy. He's got a little bit of Jim Carrey in him. And I'm not kidding. He's silly. But I don't know. I think his game speaks for the rest. Anna Diaz, honestly, it's clickbait. It's something to talk about with the Raiders. I've tried to teach everyone in my audience, if I'm allowed to do that. I've tried to teach everyone in my audience that every year, every season coming up to the beginning of the year, you're always going to get this sort of turmoil and insults and shows attacking us and things like that. But if they don't, it means you're irrelevant. We want to be relevant. So you notice just our jersey, our history, and who we are has kept us relevant through all the years of losing. It doesn't matter because we're the Raiders. They know it. We know it. Woo! And the rest of the world knows it. But when we start to build a team that threatens to be better and to win, they immediately come at us to beat us back down verbally because they want to associate us with the team that lost all those years. Well, you don't get to do that. But you do notice, you don't hear anybody talking about the Cardinals, do you? I mean, hell, I'm in Phoenix and I don't hear anyone talk about the Cardinals. Sorry to the Cardinals. Sorry. Not sorry. Okay? Punt, say it out. I mean, you can't even get your own football team on the news. I mean, they're not even discussed. They should be ashamed of themselves. It's outrageous. I'm literally in Phoenix, and this is how the people promote their team. Go Cardinals. Go Cardinals. Go Cardinals. Please don't yell at me. We suck. Go Cardinals. You suck! Yes, it was me. I did. They were doing something on the road, and they were pom-pomming this kind of thing, and blah, blah. And I'm just like, no, man, they suck. I mean, even when we're bad, we're not that bad. I don't know. This team is so like the dredges right now. R8RBEAR, the Arizona sunsets must be even more amazing with those yellow shades on, right, Matt? Matt, I'm without going into my medical history and all that, my eyes are just sensitive to light, you know what I mean? And so I often wear these even in the house just because it kind of helps me, you know. Think of it like those blockers that they use for computer screens to help your eyes. It's kind of like that. Nat Frank, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Heather Menendez, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Hi back. Bob Standard, my good friend in the house. What's up, Bob? Welcome to the show. Anthony Guerrero, what's up? Welcome to the show. Just talking a little bit of Raider football with you guys. And now, let me see if I caught up a little bit. Rude Boy Raider, what's up? Stephen Shaw, I see you there. It's one of my peoples. Victor R8RBEAR, I heard rumors about Brandon Ayuk coming to us. Can you put some truth to this news? Yes, I can. And since my guy Victor Remy brought it up, then that's what I'm going to talk about now. So Brandon Ayuk has been in negotiations for a while with the Niners, but for the last few months, it had really gone quiet to the point where you almost wondered if the Niners hadn't somehow reached some sort of agreement with him. Well, it turns out he asked for a trade. It was yesterday or this morning. I'm not exactly sure. I think it was yesterday morning, pretty sure. And he basically said, I want out. Now, the team with the most money to negotiate, or one of the highest, is us at $34.1 million. Now, the issue with that is you're going to have a lot of people that could use a wide receiver. So we're going to have to see how that goes. I don't know if they push that hard, but I hope they do. Because, see, if Aiden O'Connell pans out and is just good, okay, if he's just good, then you have Devontae Adams, and then you might have Ayuk at the 2. I mean, that's hard. If you told me we were bringing Ayuk to be our number 1, I wouldn't be all excited about that because he wasn't even a number 1 with the Niners. But he was always a 2 and a 3. And they included him in a lot of gadgets, things like that. Guy's an athlete. So what would I say about him coming to the Raiders? I don't know if we've talked to him, but I got to imagine that we've at least talked to him. You got to at least talk to him. Because if you really think about it, our wide receiver room is pretty full. We're looking for wide receiver help, and the only thing they've patched in just so far is Jalen Guyton, Alex Backman, some guys that are, kind of guys. Nothing terrible. I don't want them to not be Raiders. They're good players. But if it meant trading them to get in Ayuk, oh, yeah. You make that move. Hey, Bear, did you see the new Raiders season ticket box? It's so fire. Charlie Rockwhite, I got to be honest, I have not seen it yet. I've only heard tell of it that it's nice, but I have not seen it myself yet. What happens when AOC starts overthrowing Adams or throws him into traffic? Well, okay, I'm just going to answer your question bluntly, okay, without considering other factors. Let me just say this. If he starts overthrowing Adams or throws him into traffic, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. You can't just move on from him for two important reasons. One, the connection can be improved is the thought process you're supposed to take. You're a team and teammates. You know what I'm saying? They've been working all this time. They're still going to be working leading up to this. You know, we still have more time, to get to the season to make things work in this new offense. And I don't think it's a matter of getting things down with Adams as much as it is the confidence to throw on certain routes. Just let it go. You know, we don't want another Derek Carr where every time you wanted to take a risk, nope, across the middle to the tight end or check down or slant. You know what I mean? Every single time. Now, as far as AOC, I want him to throw it when it's there, but I don't know if you want to trust that to a rookie just yet. So if he does it, they're going to just keep working with him because, well, I don't want to say that because they did bring in Gardner Minshew for a reason. That's not an accident. But I think it was also as much for injury as it was for whether or not they thought he'd be a good enough player. You know what I mean? Because I think they do believe that we can win with Aiden O'Connell. He will move the ball down the field. Okay, back to the Ayuk thing. Glenn Medina, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Would I do it? Yeah, I would because we have the space. See, that's the thing that motivates me toward a yes on it. We know he's a veteran. We know he can play. We know he's motivated. We know he's fit. We know he wants to prove that he's out here arguing in free agency and in the public view through the press for a reason. I'm being underpaid. So that's a guy that, in a way, without saying it, is shouting to everyone that'll listen, I'm a stud. I'm a star. I deserve this much money, not this much money. Okay, and I want to lean and then eventually get that much money. Well, if he comes to us and plays like that, he will. That's right, Marcus. We don't get into clickbait. Marcus, they do suck. This might be a dumb question, but if Aiden O'Connell gets the starting job, do you think Gardner Minshew will support that decision, or do you think it will be some division in the locker room? Okay, now, Jim, that's a great question, but honestly, no. I would argue it this way. One, I win this argument two different ways. One, he's too professional for that. And that's the first thing you hear about the guy, that he's funny, self-deprecating, really professional guy. Tommy, look up self-deprecating. But more importantly, because of that, he won't allow it to become an issue in the locker room. Now, as far as, like, would he want to leave because he's disgruntled and he wants a real opportunity somewhere else? I honestly think he wouldn't go anywhere. I really do. I think he would just stay with us if he doesn't win the starting job. And the reason I think that is because he has to himself know, moving right now after the season's already started with teams not having you in their plans, is just a suicide mission. You let's say he gets traded to the Cowboys. He's not going to become the starter. Even if Dak were to get hurt, he'd still be the third quarterback on the roster. He doesn't know their offense, doesn't have their timing down, doesn't know what their calls are, doesn't know their offensive linemen. I can go on and on and on and on. So it doesn't work for Gardner Minshew at this point or some point during this year. Even now, even if he did it today, it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good because he would probably face the same situation he would face with us. There's a guy at whatever destination he goes to that's the incumbent at the moment, and they're going to look to him, to keep the job. And then, look at what happened with the Steelers. They went out and they got Russell Wilson, and then they immediately brought in Justin Fields. And everyone's shaking their head like, what the hell's going on? Well, I mean, that's good. It's good business. You took him off the market. You own Fields now. So if some other team thinks they can make their guy into a franchise guy, they're going to have to give us a lot. I think that's really what they did for it. And more importantly, you could bring him in and put him in with the Steelers like he's in a farm system. Because Russell Wilson ain't going anywhere. You know what I mean? If anybody's durable, it's that guy. And he wants to prove he's still got it to a certain extent. Because if he fails with Pittsburgh, it's over. Sorry, I didn't mean to get into Pittsburgh and all that. I drifted. But no, there's no way Gardner Minshew would do it. It's just not good business. If it was at the end of the season and he was mad and he wanted a real shot at being number one, then yes, he'll leave. But otherwise, no way. Tana Moku says, yeah, but the Niners might want Devontae in the trade. Okay, Tana, first, and forgive me if I'm wrong, I don't think they have say in that. Well, he's asking. Well, yeah, so they would have say in his contract. Okay, I mean, obviously, I don't think we would let go of Devontae Adams. And I don't think anyone could confuse Devontae Adams and Ayuk's skill level. One guy is a bona fide star and the other guy is pretty good. You know what I mean? And we know who pretty good is. That's Ayuk. So no, I would not move Adams for him. But would I put a package together if the Niners would take that and bring him in? Absolutely. See, to me, wouldn't you guys feel like the Raiders are really getting serious and going really all in if they bring in a guy like Ayuk? Wouldn't that really, like, literally fire a flame, okay, a flare across the battlefield of, hey, we're here. Okay, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm going to raise this flag and let this predator know it's on. Well, see, to me, that kind of move is what that would signify. We tried to make it with the quarterback with the kid Michael Penix, but the Atlanta Falcons got in our way. Sorta. I don't know, man. I forget how the movement was, but I just that was a butthurt one for me. I know that they wanted that quarterback, so I was kind of bummed that they didn't get a shot at him. Oscar DeLeon, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Louis Hogwood, we will celebrate Jalen Richard. Right on. He just retired. I read about that. Good dude. He deserves more press than what he got, just because he's a good dude. Mark Tomlinson. Okay, see, Mark, I'm not putting up your comment because then I have to read it, and I have to read that town you're from, and you always do that to me. God bless you in New Zealand. Good Thursday afternoon from out in my hometown, Rangoria, North Canterbury, South Island of New Zealand on a winter day, Raider brother. I hope you and Mama Bear, sister, and your daughter all had a great summer. Yes, sir. It's blazing hot out here. Oh, super blazing hot. I think Gardner Minshew is a definite team player overall. Reyes Antonio, there's no doubt. He would not. We're not going to. In other words, there's not going to be any fuss in the press. He might say he wants to go somewhere else and tell the team that, but he's not going to make noise. He's not going to go in the press and say I was lied to, or go on X and say Mark Davis lied to me. That's not the kind of guy he is. You know what I mean? You hear that every time you hear anything reported about him. Adams' trade to the Jets is a done deal, according to Boomer in New York, and this goes to Adams' new show on Netflix. No. Troy, I'd have to see it before I'd believe it. You know what I mean? And I haven't seen it. You know what I mean? And there would be a major earthquake and a cracking of the earth, and then we would all fall into it if that had happened. I would have probably gotten 10 phone calls, I'd like to think. Let's see. And honestly, I don't watch the Netflix, the whole wide receiver thing. You know what I mean? The only time I turn on stuff like that is when I need, assistance in getting to sleep. Pun fucks in them, okay? Boring! Had enough, okay? Put it to bed. I don't like shows like that. I just don't. It just seems egocentric, and I like when they cover the whole team, not just a position. Come on. I don't like that. Mr. Bear, I'm not going to look it up, but I think self-deprecating means he's not afraid to make fun of himself. Very good, Tommy. Very good. That's exactly what it means. Hey, Longbush, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Appreciate the love on this. Look at that, huh? Right? Rocking the turtle shell. I got a pair of black, too. I thought they were dope. Basically, Minshew and AOC are learning a brand new offense scheme together. Yeah, Jesse, and they were both playing really well. Now, the 8th day of OTAs and finishing of OTAs is where they really shined. You had the wide receivers catching touchdowns. You had the tight ends catching touchdowns. And moreover, this offense that we're getting ready to run is going to alternate our tight ends in what is motion man. Now, what does that actually mean? Motion on each play from right to left, from the tight end or sometimes to the fullback position, from hand in the ground to the fullback position, hand in the ground, and then take off as the additional blocker one way or the other. There's so many variations on it, it's hard to even talk about. For example, you bring in 2 tight ends and a running back, and then all of a sudden, the tight end on the right side slides back and becomes a blocking fullback. On the next play, let's say 7 plays later, it happens with the tight end on the left side. You don't know what the hell's going on. Because maybe when you ran weak side, you ran toward it, but when you go strong side, you stop and run back, cut back against the grain. And the play is set for you to do that, where all the offensive line run left and then they stop because they know when they stand still, their back is going to cut back, and all of those defensive linemen are going to be in front of them, and they just set up a wall again. There's so many things we can do out of this, you guys. You could make Bowers the motion tight end on the right side and Mayer on the left as the blocker, and then switch them and yet run different plays with no motion. Sometimes throw to the left or not throw the motion guy at all. I'm going to stop now because that's how many variations we will have in this offense. And although I did see something similar in what our former coach McDaniels was trying to do, the problem with him was he would not get at a ground level with players and teach the system. It was just shouting it at them, acting like if they don't get it, they're stupid or they're failing algebra. You know what I mean? That's not the way you coach. You have to get a hold of your players the same way you have to get a hold of your students. Every time I coached any sport at any level, and I've done it at multiple sports and at multiple levels, I always try to get right in the athlete's face and say, hey, stop thinking so much for a second and just tell me what's worrying you. And then you could just see them go, relax, and then just tell me, oh, I twisted my knee the other day and I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to interfere in workouts. Okay, well, we'll just get in therapy with the water today. Work with, other equipment so we're not putting pressure on your knee. Big high fives, big hugs, bonded, got workout. Darren Patterson, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Anthony Guerrero, what's up? Can we talk about the trenches? We know the defensive line is going to be a problem, but how are we looking on the O-line? Do we have decent protection? Anthony Guerrero, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Now, not only do we have decent offensive line play coming out of camp right now, but Thayer Munford has literally, and I mean this, guys, he looks like he's literally got the job at right tackle because he's playing really well, and he's coming out of playing well during that run we made at the end of last season. So he came into camp like, hey, I'm ready to go. I'll never forget that first day when they were in front of the mic for this season, 2024. Thayer Munford got up there, and guys, I'm telling you, you just don't see this very often. A gigantic offensive lineman smiling ear to ear like it was Christmas and he just saw his presence for the first time. And Thayer Munford just smiling ear to ear goes, well, it feels good when you realize you've gotten stronger, you eat right, you're in better shape, and you think to yourself, I can play with the best in this league. Oh, what was that I was saying about the flare? Oh, he's ready to go to war. Excuse me, I hate when I use that word. I apologize to all military people watching. I apologize. I hate you when I use that word. But it literally, he looks so ready to get down. It's incredible. And then that other guy we just what's his name? I'm forgetting his name, but I have my handy dandy trusty notes right here, so I'll give you his name in just a second. But we brought in another guy that looks really good. Where's that guy? Dalton Wagner, 6'8", 320 pounds. So he's just a hair under Colton Miller. He's not even as tall as Colton Miller. It's ridiculous. But the guy's 6'8", 320 pounds, and from what I understand, he's a pancaker. And he comes into us with, experience. He can play, and he's played a little bit. So it could be super interesting what he does for us moving forward. So the offensive line looks pretty dope. Let me go back up here for a second. I had this one page open that I was using kind of going on this topic, and I wanted to see if I still had it. Let me see if I go back with this one. Oh, yeah, no, that's not it. It's okay, guys. Give me just 1 second because I know I have it. Okay, here we go. Because I wanted to pull up the actual offensive line because I can't remember every single name. But as far as the only thing I'm worried about with the offensive line is the fact that the kid we got from Oregon, Jackson Powers Davis, He's a little banged up. I don't think it's anything to have like major concern about, but I think if we look at like week 3, week 4, we might want to keep an eye on him and how he's doing. You know what I mean? Because he just keeps having little issues that, from what I understand, go all the way back to college. And then DJ Glazer, the kid we brought in from Maryland, he looks incredible, really looking good in camp. Not going to be a starter. Not going to be a starter. Not right now. He's going to have a chance to fight for a job. He's been playing well in camp, but he's not beating anyone up or anything. He'll end up as depth, and pretty good depth, because he likes playing the left side, and we do need help there because Colton Miller is still also nursing stuff back to 100%. So you know how that is. If he goes out there and re-aggravates something, suddenly we're going to need a left tackle that's ready to go. Now, with guys like Dylan Parham, Dalton Wagner, let me see. Also, yeah, that was great with the Dalton Wagner thing. I'm just looking at notes as I'm scanning upward. But also, Andrew Coker, Ben Brown, Andrus Peat. Andrus Peat's the guy that he's been on a couple of teams, but he last played with the Saints, and that is a super reliable guy. And if you look at the New Orleans Saints page, they were not happy that they lost Andrus Peat. Their fans were not happy that they lost him. So I'm guessing that guy can play. And then also Clark Barrington and Will Putnam. Most of these guys, I would argue, either have a lot of experience or have a lot of potential. So I honestly like what we've done on the offensive line and defensive line. And when you really consider how the best teams are built from the middle out. So you find a solid center or nose tackle or a tandem if you're playing a 4-down lineman set, for example. But you always want to have that nose tackle or 2 defensive tackles that cannot be moved, okay? Now, we have that in Butler, and we also have that in Jenkins, but we also have that in Christian Wilkins, and we also have that in Tyree Wilson. So there's a lot happening on the defense and the offensive line. So a lot happening. It should be really good. I know that much. It should be a good season. I'm excited to see a good season. T-Dip, what's up? Welcome to the show. Sorry, I was just kind of scanning stuff people are writing. Yeah, David Pellicliver is basically just letting you know it's kind of old news, the stuff with Davante Adams. R8RBEAR, one good thing about spraining my ankle and having a slight concussion, whoa, when your cousin came after me, is that I get to stay in a pair of sweats and t-shirt. Okay, now I know you're kidding. You're talking about the cousin bear. Work home, although I did get a funny looking video conference. Nicely done. Mark DeMonico, what's up with you, brother? Welcome to the show. Alon says, that receiver series was produced by Patrick Mahomes. So taking their perspective on what Davante Adams is going to do should be with a grain of salt, to say the least. I'm just saying, you see what's up. I like the eye emoji. We watching them. No, but seriously, though, honest, guys, you got to understand, you do a certain amount of espionage in the NFL. Don't you remember how it was when Jim Harbaugh was being speculated to come in the NFL? They were talking about all sorts of teams. And yet you find out after he signed with the Chargers that he'd really only talked with the Chargers and like 2 other franchises, and that's it. All these other, 30-plus teams, we're good or not interested. And you watch, I'm telling you, you watch. The Harbaugh thing is going to end badly. Badly. And we're going to see the beginnings of it shortly, or exactly 50 days. Whoa! Until we get Raider football back. That's right. 50 days from today. So everyone grab your calendar. Tommy, hurry up. Grab your calendars. Get your one from school. Get the one on the refrigerator. Tell your mama to open the app on her phone. Woo! And make sure they understand. In 50 days, we get Raider football back. Oh, I'm 0 to 60. You don't understand. I do it with Linda all the time. God forbid, watch, I swear to you, God forbid someone sees me and I'm rocking Raider gear like this and we go into like Target or somewhere like that and they'll look at me and go, Raider Nation. And I can't get, I'm Raider! I gotta let one go. I don't care where I'm at or what I'm doing. We could be in the library and I'm letting it go. Throw me out, I don't care. They wouldn't. But the point is, man, you should hear the acoustics in a Target. I mean, they could hear me like all the way at the other end of the store. Raider Johnny Espinoza, what's up? That's my brother in the house. Good to see you, man. Tell the missus I said hello and little Johnny. Much love, brother. Michael Guerrero, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show, though. Chris Vanderhoof, what's up, man? Welcome. Good to see you. Since you are talking about our offensive line, is there any update on Colton Miller? You know, honestly, no, Jim, there isn't. And what the worst part about it is they're not talking about it. I don't like that. Whenever they stop talking, that's not a good sign. When the team decides I need to shut you out a little bit, that's never a good sign. Because there's just no reason for it. It's not espionage for the season. They have to disclose how hurt he is. You know what I mean? So why are you trying to keep it out of the news? I don't know, I just think that's weird. Because you almost can't nowadays. You know what I mean? People don't respect medical stuff anymore. You're a pro, they expect you to come out and say it. You know what I mean? All right, my Achilles is blah, blah, blah. Ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba. Let me go back over here real quick. Oh, is that where I was? Oh, yep, that is where I was. Boom. So let's move you right there. Move you right there. Okay, so what was that last question I just saw? Darren Patterson said, Bear, who is our backup running back? Well, we brought in Alexander Madison. He's a former running back for the Minnesota Vikings, and he's a stud. I mean, he's a stud. So if anybody wants to talk about someone potentially losing their job, it would be Zamir White, because that guy's a stud, man. And Zamir White is one leg injury away from giving up the job. Let's be honest. I love Zamir White. I love the nickname Zeus and all that. Love it. But, you know, it worries me. Like, for example, I don't know how many of you noticed, but he's gained like 15 pounds. And he's not fat. I'm talking about pure muscle. Pure muscle. 15 pounds. At least. I mean, if you look at before and after pictures, he looks big. Now, I don't have any problem with that other than how did he gain the weight? Now, I'm not talking about steroids. I'm not talking about cheating. I'm just saying, did he work out like a bodybuilder? You know, where he's doing maximum amount of reps and trying to get his body sweating? Or did he lift like a power lifter and go for 2 reps of something, maybe 3 total, and that's it? You know, works with heavy stuff. You know, I don't know enough about his routine in that way, but if he worked out like a bodybuilder and got that big, that means he's tight. That means his muscle's tight. That means he could tear or break something real easy. If he lifted like a power lifter, he's going to be a little bit slower, but just a hair slower, not really noticeable enough. And he'll be able to stay healthy and kind of plow guys. You know what I mean? So hopefully he did build like a bodybuilder. And from what I saw, it looked like, you know, like farm boy strength, raw power, where like every inch of your body just gets bigger. Yeah, some people are just big boned. They're not fat. They're just big boned. You know what I mean? They're thicker than the average guy or girl walking around. And some people are just like that. You know what I mean? It's not that they're overweight. I've seen, my son's a hell of an athlete, and he weighs like 240 pounds. I just rock right around 200. So he's another 40 pounds heavier than I am, and yet he can basketball, football, baseball, plays it all. Got some vets in Pete and White. Yeah, and Whitehair as at least experienced backups. Well, you know, I wouldn't say at least. I wouldn't say that. Andrus Pete to me is nice. If he falls into place, we lose nothing. And then Whitehair, I like Whitehair a lot. You've been hearing about him getting better literally in camp, literally showing that he's playing better football right now. And by the way, Trey Tucker as well. Trey Tucker is getting so much word of mouth from the press right now. Every, jockey online that's talking about the Raiders is bringing up Trey Tucker. And it's because the guy, try to hold on to yourself when I say this, but he was already running a 4.37, and they're saying he's faster now. 4.37 is Olympics. You know what I mean? I mean, that's like winning medals. So dude's got the gas, but now has he put the footwork together with it? See, oftentimes a lot of these sprinters, they get those awesome speeds, but then the moment they slow down, it's hard for them to open their legs up again and get back up to that speed. Can he go chop, 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 and then, take it off, chop, 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 and then take off again? See, now Deshaun Jackson is no longer in the NFL, but Deshaun Jackson was the epitome of that. He could run really fast and then come down, break it down, and then still be going lightning fast. He could come out of his footwork and his steps lightning fast. And there's not a lot of wide receivers that can do that. There's a lot of wide receivers that can run routes and they've got good hands, all that stuff. But that's why you see so many of them come from the college ranks and they make nothing of themselves at the pros. And no one ever talks about it because they all know it's a really hard position to excel in nowadays because you got to know the switches when they make adjustments and they, for example, go to play action instead of a pass play and they want to make it a run play and you're supposed to come in and help block on motion. If the wide receiver doesn't know that's the play that got called in, they're going to get benched and or traded or cut. You know what I mean? And you're seeing a lot of that in the NFL. There's a lot of guys coming out of a lot of schools and they're just not competent receivers because all they know how to do is line up and run. You know what I mean? They know how to run, learn the playbook and they'll line up and they'll run and then look back at the quarterback and hope the ball's coming to them. But that's it. Read adjustments on the field where if it says go this way, you go the other way because the quarterback needs you to help him with that. You have to read the route, you have to read and determine the defense they're in and then beat it in the way you're supposed to. So if the defense is set up to keep you from getting to the baseline, you turn to the middle of the field and you give your quarterback an angle to throw from instead of running into the defense, even if that's the play called. And there's just a lot of young wide receivers that don't understand that. And if they did, they could go to the coach and say, can I do that? Make side adjustments. Yes or no. R8RBEAR, I realize that other people may feel differently, and I can respect that. But if someone who has seen war in the military, I don't object to the way you use that word. Doc R8RBEAR, I really appreciate that. I do. I really appreciate that because obviously I know I'm not trying to offend anyone, you know what I mean? But some people that have served can be offended just by someone having a slip like that. And so I just wanted, but I really appreciate that. Let's see. All I'm saying is with all our weapons, what happens when Adams don't get the targets he wants, and then when he does get targets, he blames the quarterback? You don't hear Jacoby Myers complaining. Well, John, that's because Jacoby Myers is getting the ball and getting it where he wants it. A guy like Devontae Adams, who's a premier guy that has a bubble around him of people telling him he's always right, this is what you get. You can't say you want Terrell Owens and then expect him to be quiet. It doesn't work that way. And I know he's been out of the league a long time, but everyone knows who he is. Everyone knows what he did. Chop, 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 all the time. Never shut up. Never shut up. I met him when he was a kid, just getting ready to go into the NFL. And he was that way, just talking and talking and talking. He was more respectful, but he wouldn't shut up once you asked him a question. Appreciate that roar. Chris Vandrew. Let's see. I got that. Oh, where's this? Boom. Hopefully JPJ could be 100% next week for practices. I hope so. But we'll have to see. Chris Vanderhood, I was talking about Ayuk earlier. I think that's a possibility. I just don't know if the Raiders want to negotiate with the Niners. You know what I mean? Unless, because, see, when a player comes out in the press and says, trade me, I want out of here, the team he's asking to trade him is automatically at a disadvantage. Because the team that I might have made a deal with might have given me much more had they known that we were doing this business quietly and that the player wasn't really necessarily aware of what it was. Where instead you have a player who's very publicly saying, I want out, I want out. So now anyone who reaches out to the Niners and says, hey, no disrespect, I just wanted to see if I could talk to your GM and find out what's going on with that Ayak deal, because if you guys are going to move him, we want to be the first team in line to, make a deal if we can. Maybe throw a few picks your way, maybe a few picks the following year, maybe a player, maybe a combination and some cash, and get this deal done. See, you can do that, but I don't know it. I don't know if Ayak's a guy we want anyway. You know what I mean? I don't think he's a 1, and I don't necessarily know if he's better than Myers. Do you think he's better than Myers? I don't. I mean, I would say definitively he's not as good as Devontae Adams. And as far as Myers, I think that's kind of a wash. You know what I mean? Talent-wise. Kind of a wash. Stupid. Michael Guerrero! One more time. Got the bear cracking up. Will do. He's going to be 5 nights. Wait, Alexander Madison. I said that. Thank you, Ramiro Castro. Steve Sweet. What's up, man? Welcome to the show, Steve. So, the running back situation. So, I was saying Alexander Madison, very nice. And then more importantly, behind him, you have Amir Abdullah. And then after that, you have Dylan Laube. Dylan Laube is the most exciting running back we have right now. I'm deathly serious. He can run the ball like Zamir, and he can catch the ball like a wide receiver. Dylan Laube is freaking dangerous. And I can report that Dylan Laube is getting first-team snaps. They're looking at putting him in the offense right away. So just watch. Just remember I gave you that name months ago. Dylan Laube. He is going to be the most exciting running back when they get him in there on those pass plays, hit him with screens. It's going to be a beautiful thing to watch. Hey, Bear, my cousin Tony has been working with Tyree Wilson on rehabbing. I tagged you in the video on Facebook. Nice. I'll get right on that. I know that he's doing better. I know that his foot is pretty much 100%. He's just doing most of this stuff now for strength, the rehabbing. But I got to be honest with you, they're going to keep calling it that until the season starts. They're not even probably going to want him to play in the preseason. Just keep letting him, get his ice and stem and his massage and let them work that thing out, stretch it, and so on, and then get him ready to start the season, period. I don't even want him taking any risks in preseason games. It's pointless. He's not going to learn any football doing that. You know what I mean? I know a lot of pros like to bang helmets and pads, to get it out of their system before they start the season, but I just don't like the risk level. Will Nanoff, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Crazy squirrel in the house. About wide receiver, how about Brandon Ayuk? Sorry, can't spell his name right. Oh, yeah, we just did that. Whoops. There we go. Chris, is wide receiver a problem? I don't think so. We need to invest in other areas of the team. Will's correct. We have so much depth at wide receiver right now. We're really cool there. Chris, even in the slot, DJ Turner, Trey Tucker, very nice guys that can fill that hole real nicely. Why does most Raider Nation sites say we will be lucky to win 6 games? What the F? Well, Denton Rhodes, to be honest with you, some other shows like mine, although there is no other show like mine, the Raider Bear! Where was I? But on these other shows, they say 6 wins because they're being influenced by what is the so-called experts in football. You're getting a lot of teams, you're getting a lot of GMs that are talking a lot of garbage that we're going to be bad. What they're doing is they're placing a bet with those comments that Aiden O'Connell is not going to pan out. He's not going to be good enough. He's not going to play hard enough or make enough big plays, whatever the case may be. He won't be dynamic enough. He's not going to run around the field because that's not what he is. But when you look at that aspect of the team, and I'm being honest with you when I say I don't blame them. In this one, I don't blame them. Normally, I will go at other press and say, come on, what are you doing? Do your homework. And whether we disagree with them or not, there is one point that we have to all agree on, and that is when a team has a rookie quarterback, they're usually a lot more likely to fail than excel. It's just kind of a thing. You'll see rookie quarterbacks come in and play well, but like with C.J. Stroud and the Texans, but that's kind of the anomaly, not the rule. That's the exception. You don't see too many guys come into their rookie year and play like CJ Stroud is. That's why they're so excited about him. Do you see what I mean? Now, having said that, Aiden O'Connell's already had his rookie season. Then he had to go through a baptism of fire mid-year last year. And then he went through that, came out on the other side, not too bad. And so now, with the coach and the team 100% behind him, and I would say they're 100% behind him because they don't have a choice at this point. Because we've made the moves we can make. As far as like free agency and going and getting a quarterback, there ain't anybody available that's really any better. You know what I mean? Ryan Tannehill, you know, I mean, maybe 4 years ago, you know, but right now he would just come in and, you know, probably get hurt in week 2 or 3 or whenever he came in. So I would pass on that. I think we got to ride with the horse that brung us, and you go with Aiden O'Connell for sure. I like Gardner Minshew, and I love the insurance policy that he is. Because I'm saying to you guys honestly, even if let's say AOC wins the job, which I think he's going to. I think it won't be long before they announce it. So AOC is going to win the job. Now, moving forward, once he wins the job, if he gets hurt, but let's say it's only for 2 games, maybe it's just a high ankle sprain. Okay, he needs some therapy, some rest, 2 games, and then he's back. Okay, Gardner Minshew will win those 2 games. You know what I mean? Unless they're like really insurmountable odds, you know, like playing a playoff team on the road, something hard like that. But if he's got a home game and he gets to come in, even against a good team, he will play well. Because this is a new offense that he has learned for himself as well. Because he feels like he's fighting for a job. And God forbid if the little Kenny Stabler lookalike, I like Gardner Minshew. If the guy pans out, AOC might be in trouble if he gets hurt and that guy comes in and goes win-win and looks real good, throws 4 touchdowns in both games. It's going to be like, oh boy. Oh, do we give the job back to Aiden O'Connell? You know, and then it becomes that. Roger Mann, the Bear. What's up, brother? It's been a while. Still keeping it Raider. You know this, brother. Always. Anna Diaz Rincon writes, so we give him a couple of royalty checks and a free bowl of soup. Chris Vanderhoop, be careful if you're driving, doggone it. I can say, all I can say is I'm so looking forward to this year for the first time in a very long time. Yeah. This does feel like the team that they should bet on. In other words, go after Ayuk. Go get any piece that's really valuable that could put you over the top. You go get it. If you really believe this is the year, you can't go at it halfway. If Mark Davis really believes this is the year, he should go right in there in the war room and tell him go. Carlos Magana says, Bear, is it gambling and has it gotten out of control? Just curious. There is a lot of gambling. It has gotten out of control, if it ever really was under control. But I would say to you that it was a lot harder to do illegal stuff in the past, but it's not as hard now. Because you know the computer nerds and their apps and, you know, beton.com and all that stuff. And don't go to that. I didn't even mention that for any reason. I'm just assuming there's a site called that. But I do think it's bad. You have to understand there's billions of dollars that get, you know, bet on, trade over every week. You know, on soccer, baseball, basketball, football, you know, NASCAR, IndyCar, all of that stuff. You know, and there's just people that they want to be able to gamble, and they want to be able to gamble on football and everything else. So it's going to be there. The problem is that when eventually you always run into people who have very deep pockets and want to find a way to fix the game in their favor. It's just the truth. You know, and eventually one of them finds their way to a referee in whatever sport it is and offers them a deal they can't refuse. And I hate that people get put in that position. I think there's more good people than bad people that would want to say no. But if he shows up with cash in a tote bag and does that a couple times, it's real hard to go, okay, no. When you consider, too, with all the billions of dollars running around, they still don't, the league still doesn't really pay the cheerleaders. The teams really don't pay their lower staff other than the players, you know. So when it gets to referees, most of you may know this, but most of the referees, they have normal jobs. They're not just referees in the NFL or baseball. They all have normal jobs they have to go to. They don't make enough in their contracts, which I think is outrageous. when you consider how much money there is in both baseball and basketball. And three things, I said both, but in baseball, basketball, and football, there's so much money. It makes no sense, to try to go cheap on something like that. Pay them so they won't get compromised. You guys are funny. I know Johnny right now, or I mean Tommy. Listen to me. I know Tommy right now. When I do my closing, he could do it. He could do my opening right along with me. I got to get him to send me a video of him doing my shout out. My bad. I meant to say, is gambling getting bad to the point where players' lives are at stake? I heard something about that, but I don't know if it's true. Carlos Magana, yeah. Yeah, because you also have the alternative where people don't have the right to say no to fixing a game because they owe so much money to someone that they're affiliated already with, and they say to them, well, if you can't pay me, you're going to have to fix a game, or at least try. And right when that guy gets thrown a ball, as soon as he's hit, he just kicks the ball out of his hands and fumbles it and says, oh, man, I didn't mean to. You give it to the other team, they suddenly score on a short field, maybe they win the game, and you get somebody paid. Hey, there's ways to hide it in football. Then he lines up later on, maybe they throw one to him and he tips it into the air. It really looks like, I was trying to catch that, and then some guy in the defense gets it, another short field, and they at least get a field goal. That's 10 points, in a matter of a few plays. And that's all they have to do to fix games? Yeah, it's a shame. But you see it almost every level of everything. Soccer, everything. FIFA, oh my God, FIFA, those guys were super crooks. Yeah, and Favre's a super crook. I mean, he can say he won. I don't know if he won this latest case. I know he won part of his latest case, but he really was involved in that scam. He really was. I don't care how much he wants to tell people he's a victim. He's not. He's trying to save his image. There's a reason he's no longer hawking for Tommy, Tommy figure gold or something like. Remember those stretch on like armbands that you put on and you put on the glove, Tommy Copper, and he would say, oh wow, my muscles, they feel better now that I'm wearing this stupid black spandex with these stupid gold stripes on it. Oh, look at how the metal gold strap meshing, it's surgically approved. What does that even mean? I don't. Tommy Copper is an absolute ripoff, and I know at least one of you right now that's watching my show probably owns something by them. Throw it out and tell them it's crap, it didn't work. You go right into their ratings and tell them they conned you because they're not. Tommy Copper doesn't do anything except make you sweat. That's about it. Those fake sleeves that Allen Iverson used to pull all over his body? I know I'm making an older player reference, but it's kind of like that. You're just slipping something on. It really ain't any good for you. It just looks cool. I have a feeling Aiden is going to be better than people are expecting. Anthony Olgan Jr., can we both agree to be we'll be the head of that party? Because personally, I think he's going to be fantastic. I really do. I don't think he's going to be, blah, blah, blah. I think he's going to shock Raider Nation. And by week 3, he's going to be rolling. And people are going to wonder what's up. Because we're going to be 2-1. I know we're going to win against the Chargers. That's how we open the season. But then we get the Ravens. And I'm not mistaken. Forgive me for not memorizing this. But we get the Ravens second. And I think that's on the road. And then we come back. And then we play. I'm pretty sure we're going to be 2-1 coming out of week 3. Going into week 4. 2-1. Don Wally D said, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. See you there. Go this year. Nah, I was just curious, bro. I don't gamble. Right on, Carlos. Good man. I never recommend that. It's something you do with family and friends. That's cool. But otherwise, no. 10 people watching for like. Come on, guys. Wipe your feet and hit that like button. Oh, Tony Carpenter Evans. I love you, girl. Yes, greed. Exactly. You've been calling it since last year, Bear. Well, Anna, thank you so much, and I really appreciate you saying that. But I just want to go a step further. AOC is going to be a winner for us. I'm absolutely confident of that. And I think the only reason other people aren't confident about it is because, and I think most people would admit this. I think most people that know the Raiders would admit this. And that's just that Aiden O'Connell, oftentimes when you catch him on camera, he looks like a kid. And he's solemn, you know what I mean? He just sort of looks down and waits for the next play to come in, and he's going to go to that next play. And from there on out, you just see the same stoic guy. He doesn't get too high. He doesn't get too low. He tries to react to everything the same way. And to be honest with you, as of right now, I really like that. I really like that. I like the fact that he's not too hard on himself. He can shake off mistakes, but at the same time is still always concerned with being better. I like that. Alexa, resume! There, Michael Guerrero. Alexa, start this song from the beginning, love. She even doesn't mind when I call her love. Whoa! R8RBEAR! All right, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. For all you do, the energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice, active and veteran. Much love. Come on, close your windows. Hold on to your cats and dogs. One more. Raiders! Love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Raider Bear family page. Appreciate you all tuning in. Subscribe to Raider Bear Live, or we're not good anymore. Subscribe to Raider Bear Live. Do it! Facebook and YouTube. Raider Bear. All day. No more Deadpool. I'm done. Go on. Go about your business. You're seriously watching me drink coffee? Are you serious? Woo! Hey, man. You see how big this cup is? So focused, okay? That was hella caffeine just now. Oh, good. Everybody's left? No, seriously? You're still here?